Hey everyone, and welcome to Insurance Deep Dive. I'm Joe,
And I'm Casey.
and today we're diving into a topic that, well,
Yeah.
I think at some point we've all probably gotten a little mini heart attack when we see those flashing lights in the rearview mirror,
Absolutely.
traffic tickets,
Yep.
specifically how those pesky pieces of paper
Oh, yeah.
can translate into some serious cash
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to car insurance here in Washington State.
Big time. And, a lot of people don't think about that.
Right.
A long-term cost
Right.
that can really add up.
Yeah, we're going deep into the long-term cost of those moving violations. And trust me, they can be significant.
For sure.
We're going to unpack what makes Washington's system unique and what you can do if you find yourself on the wrong side of a flashing light.
Yeah, because it is unique here in Washington
It is.
compared to other states.
It really is.
So we're going to break all that down for you.
So I was looking at some research for this deep dive, and I found some pretty interesting information.
Oh, really?
So get this.
Okay.
Washington issues an insane number of traffic tickets every single day.
Right.
Over 2,300 to be exact.
Wow.
You ever get the feeling that we're a little ticket happy out here?
I mean, it is a lot, isn't it?
It is.
But it highlights something really crucial.
Okay.
The cost of those tickets
Right.
goes way beyond the initial fine that you have to pay.
Exactly.
When you get that ticket.
Right.
It's not just about that.
Right.
A lot of drivers don't realize how much those violations can really add up over time and increase their insurance premiums.
I saw a figure that said a single speeding ticket could end up costing you an extra $792 over 3 years
Yeah, double right.
on average.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting the fine.
Exactly. And that $792 figure that you mentioned is based on an average monthly premium increase of $22.
Okay.
But it can vary.
Okay.
That's just an average.
Right.
But here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize this.
Let's see.
Washington
Yeah.
doesn't use a point system.
Okay, so no points.
No point system like a lot of other states do.
But they still track us.
Oh, they absolutely track you.
Oh.
Instead of points, Washington tracks violations directly through the Department of Licensing.
Okay.
And those stay on your record for 5 years.
5 years. Wow.
So that means even if you get a ticket, let's say you're visiting family
Yeah.
out of state,
Uh-huh.
that can still come back to haunt you
I see.
when you renew your insurance here in Washington.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So let's say you do get a ticket here in Washington. What are your options then?
Well, you've got a couple paths you can take.
Okay.
3 to be exact.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
All right, so you can do direct payment,
Okay.
you can do mitigation,
Okay.
or you can contest that ticket.
Okay, so let's start with direct payment.
All right, so direct payment, that's pretty straightforward. You're
Yeah.
admitting guilt
Okay.
and you're paying the fine.
Okay.
It's the easiest option, but it means that violation is going on your record and your insurance company is going to see it.
Right.
Huh.
Okay, so what about mitigation?
So mitigation is a little different.
Sure.
It's basically like saying, okay, I messed up,
Okay.
but here's why it wasn't entirely my fault,
Okay.
and here's how I'm going to be a better driver in the future.
Oh, so you're trying to get,
Yeah.
like, a lesser sentence.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that might involve
Okay.
attending traffic school or maybe doing some community service.
Right.
The goal is to try to convince the court to reduce that penalty and hopefully lessen the impact on your insurance.
Gotcha. So you're trying to strike a deal.
Pretty much.
Okay. And then what about contesting a ticket?
So contesting the ticket, that can be a good option.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a gamble, though.
Go ahead.
But studies have shown that about 25% of traffic tickets actually contain errors.
Really?
Yeah. So if you genuinely believe you were ticketed unfairly,
Okay.
contesting it could be a really smart move.
Okay, so those are your options when you get the ticket.
Right.
But what about afterwards?
Yeah.
Are there things that you can do to kind of minimize the damage insurance-wise?
Absolutely. You want to show your insurance company that you're committed to being a safe driver.
Okay.
And there are things you can do to prove that.
Okay, like what?
Well, defensive driving courses can be helpful.
Okay.
A lot of times they come with insurance discounts.
Oh, nice.
And they also teach you valuable skills to help prevent accidents in the first place.
Okay, so 2 birds, 1 stone.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And of course, maintaining a clean record after the violation.
Right.
That's key.
Don't give them a reason to raise those rates.
Exactly. The longer you go without another incident, the more likely your rates are to go back down.
Makes sense.
All right.
And I do want to mention our sponsor for today's deep dive,
Yes.
Mid-Columbia Insurance.
They're fantastic.
They are fantastic. I know you're a fan of theirs too, so tell us a little bit about what makes them stand out.
Well, I'm a big fan of them because they're an independent agency which means they work with multiple insurance companies,
Okay.
not just one.
Okay.
And that gives them the power to shop around and find you the absolute best rate, even if you have, a less than perfect driving history.
Right, because we all make mistakes.
We do.
And sometimes it comes back to bite us.
Exactly. And having an independent agency
Right.
on your side can really help with that.
That's huge, especially here in Washington,
Yeah.
where the rates can get so high.
Absolutely. Plus, they've been serving Washington since 1995,
Wow, that's a long time.
so they know the local market inside and out.
And they have a stellar reputation.
Hmm.
Thousands of five-star reviews don't lie.
Absolutely not. And one other thing that I really love about them is they have a bilingual staff,
Oh, very common.
English and Spanish.
That's amazing.
So important,
Reaching our whole community.
Exactly.
Strong.
Making sure everybody has access to that information and those resources.
Awesome. So if you are looking for car insurance, definitely give Mid-Columbia Insurance a call.
Yes,
The number is 509-783-5600.
that's right.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll be unpacking those options for dealing with a ticket. Direct payment, mitigation, and contesting in even more detail.
We'll break it all down.
We'll explore the pros and cons
Mm-hmm.
of each approach and help you figure out which path might be best for you.
Absolutely. Stick around.
We'll be right back.
All right, so welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about the different options you have when you get a traffic ticket here in Washington.
And it's one thing to understand those options in theory. Like, we talked about direct payment,
Right.
mitigation, contesting, but it's another thing to actually know, okay, when do I use which one?
Right. When to use each one.
So let's unpack that a bit more.
Okay, let's do it.
So direct payment
All right, so direct payment.
seems pretty simple.
Yeah, the simplest approach.
Yeah.
You're accepting that you did it. You're paying the fine, and that's it.
But it goes on your record,
But it does go on your record.
which means higher insurance premiums.
Potentially.
Potentially,
Yeah, because the insurance companies are going to look at that driving record
Ah.
and use that to calculate your risk level.
Right, makes sense.
And if you have a violation, like a speeding ticket,
Yep.
that could suggest that you're a higher risk driver,
Right.
which in turn could mean higher premiums.
Okay, so then when would mitigation be a good strategy?
So mitigation can be a good option
Okay.
if you're looking to lessen that impact on your insurance.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a way to reduce that penalty.
So how do you know, if it's even worth pursuing?
That's a good question.
It seems like there's some effort involved.
Yeah, you're going to have to put in a little bit of effort,
Okay.
but it really depends on the circumstances.
Okay.
Like if it's a minor violation, like going a few miles over the speed limit,
Yeah.
and you have a pretty clean driving record, you might be able to successfully mitigate that penalty.
This is like you could explain that you were distracted.
Yeah, or there was a sudden change in traffic.
Okay.
You're basically providing context.
You're giving them the whole story.
Yeah, you're showing that it wasn't just a blatant disregard for the law.
Gotcha.
And sometimes even just acknowledging that you made a mistake,
Okay.
taking responsibility can really work in your favor.
So they see that you're taking it seriously.
Exactly. They see that you're serious about it and that you want to be a safer driver.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about contesting the ticket.
Okay.
That seems like the riskiest option.
It definitely can be the riskiest.
Yeah.
But remember we talked about that? 25%
Right.
of traffic tickets actually have errors.
Yeah.
So if you believe that you were unfairly ticketed,
Okay.
or if something in the officer's notes seems off,
Okay.
contesting it could be the right move for you.
But it seems like a lot of work, gathering evidence.
It is going to require a little bit more legwork. You might need to take photos of the scene,
Okay.
gather witness statements,
Hmm.
or even talk to a traffic lawyer.
Oh, wow.
But if you win, it can save you a ton of money
Right.
in the long run.
Both on the ticket and future insurance premiums. So it's a risk-reward thing.
It is, you have to weigh the options
Right.
and the potential consequences with how much effort you want to put in.
Right.
And this is where a good insurance agent can really come in handy.
Totally.
They can help you navigate this.
Yeah, because it's confusing.
It is.
They know all the ins and outs.
Yeah, they can help you understand what the potential consequences are for each of those options.
Okay.
And they can guide you toward the best course of action for your specific situation.
That's great. It's like having a guide in the legal jungle.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Trying to get through the weeds.
Help you navigate.
Help you avoid the pitfalls.
Exactly. And speaking of great guides,
Yeah.
our sponsor, Mid-Columbia Insurance.
Yes, they're fantastic.
They are.
They really know their stuff.
Yes, they have a team of agents who are super knowledgeable about Washington's traffic laws,
Mm-hmm.
insurance regulations,
They do.
and as we mentioned, being an independent agency,
Yes.
That gives them that flexibility to compare rates from multiple companies.
It does.
So they can really find you the best coverage, even if you've had a few bumps in the road.
Exactly. And that's so important.
So important.
Because it's not one size fits all. They can really tailor it to you.
Okay, so we've talked about all the options for dealing with a ticket.
Yes.
Direct payment, mitigation, contesting.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
And talk about some steps that drivers can take to avoid getting those tickets in the first place.
Yes.
Because, I mean,
prevention is key.
Best way to minimize the impact on your insurance is to not get a ticket at all.
100% agree. So, you know what I think it all starts with?
Oh.
A little bit of self-reflection.
Like self-reflection. I like. What do you mean?
Well, we tend to think of ourselves as good drivers.
Right.
Right? But honestly, how many of us can say that we've never bent the rules just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Maybe crept a little bit over the speed limit.
Okay.
Or rolled through that stop sign when we thought nobody was looking.
Yeah.
We've all done it right.
Yeah, I'm not perfect. I'll admit that.
None of us are perfect.
Yeah.
My point is sometimes we need a little reality check.
Okay.
We need to ask ourselves, am I really as careful a driver as I think I am?
Right.
Because those seemingly small slip-ups, those moments of inattentiveness can lead to tickets.
Yep.
And as we've discussed, those tickets can impact our insurance rates for years.
They can add up, for sure. So step one, acknowledging we're human.
We're not perfect.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
We do.
And once we've done that, we can start taking steps to be more mindful.
Okay, so mindfulness is key.
Mindfulness is key.
Okay, we're on.
Well, sometimes we just forget the rules of the road.
It's been a while since driver's ed.
It has been a while for most of us.
Yeah.
Things change, so maybe it's time to brush up on those traffic laws.
Makes sense.
The Washington Driver's Manual is online for free.
Oh, cool.
And you can go through...
Like a little refresher course?
Yeah, just a little refresher. And speaking of refresher courses, defensive driving courses. Yeah. Those are great.
Yeah.
They're not just for getting insurance discounts or mitigating tickets. They can actually make you a safer, more aware driver.
Right.
They teach you how to handle things like adverse weather conditions.
Okay.
How to anticipate the actions of other drivers.
Yeah.
And how to make safe decisions in split-second situations.
Like really taking your skills to the next level.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Right.
You're anticipating those hazards, you're thinking ahead, and you're prepared for the unexpected.
And that can make a huge difference, not just in avoiding tickets, but also avoiding accidents.
Absolutely.
And keeping everyone on the road safe.
Everyone safe. That's what it's all about.
For sure.
It's about creating that culture of safety.
Yeah.
And it starts with us.
I like that, listening to you talk about this, it strikes me that there's a bigger picture here.
There is.
Than just saving a few bucks on our insurance.
For sure. It's about taking responsibility.
Absolutely.
For our actions.
Yes.
Behind the wheel.
It's a privilege.
Yeah.
Not a right.
Right.
And, we have to recognize that our choices on the road have consequences. Not just for ourselves, but for everybody around us.
It's like being a good citizen.
It is.
Right.
It's about respecting those rules of the road.
Yeah.
Respecting other drivers and respecting the power and the responsibility.
That comes with driving a car.
Absolutely. I love that. All right. So before the break, we were talking about, being mindful and brushing up on those traffic laws.
Yeah. Because sometimes a ticket really just comes down to not knowing the rules as well as we think we do.
Yeah. It's so easy to get complacent, especially if you've been driving for a long time.
Right.
Like, what was the last time you or I actually looked at the Washington Driver's Manual?
Exactly. And, things change.
Yeah.
Laws get updated.
Right.
So, for example, did you know that here in Washington, it's illegal to hang anything from your rearview mirror that obstructs your view?
Really?
Yeah.
Even like fuzzy dice?
Even fuzzy dice.
Wow.
It sounds minor.
Yeah.
But it is a violation.
Huh. So ignorance of the law is no excuse.
It's not. They don't care if you know or not.
So we've got to stay informed.
Absolutely. And that's another reason why I think those defensive driving courses are so valuable.
Yeah.
They're not just about avoiding tickets. They're about making you a more skilled and aware driver overall. They can teach you things like, how to handle adverse weather conditions, how to anticipate what other drivers are going to do, how to make safe decisions when you're in those split-second situations.
Right. So you're really taking your driving to the next level.
Yeah, you're leveling up your skills.
Yeah.
And it's about being proactive, not reactive.
Right.
You're anticipating those hazards, you're thinking ahead, and you're ready for whatever might happen.
Right. And that can make such a big difference, not just for avoiding tickets, but also for avoiding accidents,
Absolutely.
keeping everybody safe on the road.
Exactly. It's about everybody you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
creating that culture of safety.
Right.
And it starts with us.
Yeah. I love that, listening to you talk about this,
Mm-hmm.
it just strikes me that there's a bigger picture here
I think so too.
than just saving money on your insurance.
Yeah,
It's about really taking responsibility
absolutely.
for your actions behind the wheel.
Yes.
It's about understanding that, driving is a privilege.
It is.
It's not a right.
Big difference.
Huge difference. And we have to recognize that our choices have consequences.
Yes.
Not just for us,
Right.
but for the people around us.
For everyone.
It's about being a good citizen
It really is.
on the road, right?
It's about respecting the rules of the road, respecting other drivers, and respecting that power and responsibility
Yeah.
that comes with driving a car.
Well said. I think that's a fantastic note to end on.
I agree.
You've been listening to Insurance Deep Dive, brought to you by Mid-Columbia Insurance.
They're great.
They're fantastic if you are looking for car insurance, especially here in Washington.
Give them a call.
They are a great resource.
They are.
Having a knowledgeable insurance agent
Yes.
can make all the difference in the world, especially when you're dealing with something like, traffic tickets and insurance.
Totally.
So give them a call at 509-783-5600
That's right.
for a free quote.
That's right.
All right, and until next time, drive safe out there.
Stay safe, everyone.
I'm Joe,
I'm Casey.
and thanks for tuning in to Insurance Deep Dive.